This is the Everyday AI Show, the everyday podcast where we simplify AI and bring its power to your fingertips. Listen daily for practical advice to boost your career, business, and everyday life.
Can you use Chat GPT to start a business? Something we've talked about many times on the show before, but most of those times we have an adult who has a lot of background experience come talk to us about how they use Chat GPT to start or grow a business. Today's a little different. Today I'm excited because we're going to be talking to a 12-year-old who hasn't even started 8th grade yet about how he's using Chat GPT to start a business. I'm excited for this one. I hope you all are too. My name's Jordan Wilson. I'm the host of Everyday AI. This is your everyday live stream, podcast, and free daily newsletter helping everyday people like you and me learn what's going on in the world of AI and how we can actually use it in our day-to-day lives, in our careers, in our jobs, in our companies. All right, so we have a fun story to tell today. We actually have a father-son duo joining the show. It's our first time that we had a duo joining us. So as a reminder, if you are joining us live, say what's up. Where are you joining us from? Let me know. Love to shout you out here live on the show. But before we do that, let's take a quick run over the AI news as we do every single day. So let's start it off. Speaking of people in school, Khan Academy, their AI tutor, is it taking over? Well, we're going to find out. It's here. So the very popular online learning platform Khan Academy has just started to roll out and test its AI tutor. So far, more than 8,000 teachers and students will be testing this new AI tutor from the nonprofit Khan Academy. So more in the newsletter on that. I think it's going to be extremely exciting and also a lot of not confusion necessarily, but what does this mean for the tutoring world? Are things going to be just digital? I don't know. We're going to find out. All right. We always think, can AI read our minds? Well, some researchers from Singapore have developed an AI system that is actually doing that. So it is called MindVis, I think. MindVis. So it is actually a system that is using brainwave patterns to visually recreate what the brain sees. Right? We've talked about something similar on the show, but this one takes it a little further. So make sure to check that one out in the newsletter as well. Extremely interesting. And last but not least, the chip race. We talk about chips a lot on this show because I think it's important. It drives these GPU chips that drive generative AI. So important. So the news today is a SoftBank-owned company called Arm. They make chips and they are going to IPO. So they're going to be debuting, I believe, today on the NASDAQ. So the SoftBank group owns this ARM company, and they're going to be putting out their public offering today. So we'll see how this shakes things up with AMD and NVIDIA and some of the other large chip makers here in the US and abroad. So yeah, it's these chips, these GPU chips are actually so important with how we kind of power our future and with generative AI. So definitely keep an eye on that. All right. Good morning, Dr. Rastafah. Good morning. Checking in. Thank you for joining us. Dr. Harvey Castro, thank you for joining us. Trevor, it's early today. It is early, Trevor, especially if you're on our West Coast, right? And that's actually where our guests today are joining us. So let's go ahead and bring our father-son duo on. I'm excited for this. We have Kaz and Sam Keller joining us. Hey,
all right. Great to be with you.
Yeah.
All right. I'm excited. So we have Sam Keller and his son, Kaz Keller. So Kaz, thanks for joining the show. I'm excited for this. You got to be a little tired. It is 5:30 a.m. in California, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a little tired, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
He's tired, but ready to go. So really quick, Kaz, I'm gonna throw something up on the screen here, but go ahead and tell people what you're doing because you started a company to help train people on Chat GPT. So tell everyone a little bit about kind of this project, Gen AI Academy.
Yeah, well, basically, Gen AI Academy is started as a company where I just started to teach people. So, for example, as you can see on the site, like that's just me teaching people in that video. And then eventually, after I taught over 20 classes, we came essentially at a fork. Like we decided whether it should just continue being just me, or if it could go, or if we could start teaching others how to teach like me, and that's what it became. As you can see up there, it says become a Chat GPT trainer, and that's basically just like how we're on a mission to kind of like help almost anyone teach about this new AI, as long as they're willing to just put like in their time, start making, and then they can just start making money.
Sorry. I took away the wrong one there. So tell me a little bit, Kaz, where did you get this idea? How did it all start?
Well, I mean, honestly, we kind of like the idea really like just started when I found out about ChatGPT. I was like, sitting in the car to Tahoe, and I saw this video on YouTube about how can an AI code a video game in less than 30 minutes. And so the video was really interesting, but I eventually just ended up using ChatGPT to be the main AI that they use. So I'm like, okay, what's this Chat GPT?
Right.
What is
Kind of like everyone, right? I think when people first saw Chat GPT, they're like, what is this? What is this machine? Is it a search engine? What is GPT? So talk a little bit, Kaz. So you saw a video, you were interested, right? So how did it turn from you being interested into something you saw on YouTube to now teaching people about it? What was that process like?
Well, I'd say like in the beginning, I'm like, I sign up for it and I just ask ChatGPT like, hey, ChatGPT, what is ChatGPT? And so it gave me this amazing description, and I'm like, it's a little too nerdy for me. Could you please explain it in an easier fashion? And that's really where it just started, where I was starting to basically already understand the parameters of ChatGPT. Like, how can you ask the right question, and how can you tune an answer? And I was already doing that. So I told my dad, and I'm like, Daddy, we need to see this. And then for 4 months, I have the idea. What if I start teaching people about AI, and then we're right here.
You've made over $4,000.
$4,500.
Oh yeah. Don't forget that $4,500, Dad. So yeah. So Sam, tell me a little bit. So when your son Kaz comes up to you and he's like, "Hey, I saw this video on YouTube. I want to start teaching people." What was your reaction? Because you have a tech background yourself. So what did you think when Kaz came up to you with this idea?
Well, Kaz turns me on to various things, but I could tell by the tone of his voice that this was more serious. This was more significant. And so as he brought me into it, I saw too that like, whoa, this is revolutionary. And as he taught me how to use it adeptly, then I could really see that like, man, you've helped not only me and your mom, but then next it became grandma and some other relatives and sort of neighbors. And so then it became clear that there was real potential here. And we had the idea of just putting a message on Nextdoor, the online platform that connects neighbors. And we were flooded with interest. So we looked at his schedule, created a few dates. ChatGPT had advised us to use Eventbrite to actually sell tickets. They sold out right away, just right over here in our living room. And so then he started using some of his proceeds to rent the boardroom at our local community center. So this little 12-year-old has been running them in a big quintessential boardroom.
Oh, wow. I love it. And you know what, Kaz, you said something there that I want to call out to listeners, because we tell people this all the time. People don't know that you can just ask and talk to ChatGPT like a person, right? You don't have to have these long, drawn out prompts. You can go back and forth. So talk a little bit about that process, because it sounds like you were not just teaching people about ChatGPT, but you were actually using ChatGPT to help you set it all up. So what was that like?
Well, I mean, like in the beginning, it was really cool because it's like, whoa, an AI is helping me with all this. Like, that's pretty crazy. And then eventually it came up with the main questions that I demo on ChatGPT. But I had to tweak those because I've got to say ChatGPT is not the best when it comes to some things. That's why I started using GPT-4. But anyways, it's like, it was really just amazing being able to see how it's able to like help me write a slide, help me generate the main points that I'm going to put onto this slide, towards like, instead of spending like 10 hours on a presentation, you can end up spending 1 and probably get the same results.
Yeah. And you know, some comments and feedback from our audience. You know, Juliet saying this is fantastically inspiring. I agree. Dr. Harvey Castro saying loves the entrepreneurship here. Cecilia, great point, saying anyone can be a teacher and you can learn from anyone, but the young are especially great teachers. So let's talk about that, Kaz, because it's not just, you know, your buddies that are taking this course. You're teaching people from all over the country. I heard you've had people tune in from other countries as well. But talk about just the age range and just the different types of people that you're teaching ChatGPT to.
Yeah, well, usually like on our first class, it was like usually I'd say 1 kid, like 3 adults, and then I think 2 seniors. So, or no, 1 senior. Wait, yeah, no, 2 seniors. It's like, you know, you kind of forget. But anyways, so we have like, you know, 6 people there, and it's like, oh, that's a lot. It's 1 more than we expected. 1 person got the dates wrong. So, I mean, eventually we didn't really like, yeah, it's like, so I don't care. Let's just do it anyways. So we ended up teaching the class, and I mean, everyone loved it. So,
But then most of the people who buy tickets, of the over 200 people, have been senior citizens.
Yeah, now we're definitely seeing that it's mostly senior citizens. Like the first class I'd say was maybe just like a difference. So yeah, mostly senior citizens.
Because so many of the young people seem to just use YouTube to learn about it, but some of these older folks
have barely any time. So it's usually like only seniors who have the right time and the right mindset to decide to do an in-person class
and want the hands-on support to access it and start using it.
That's so cool. And, you know, we talk about this on the show, but, you know, whether you enjoy or want to use something like ChatGPT, that is the way of the future, because, you know, the biggest companies out there that control search, so Microsoft, Google, they are starting to make their default search more of this generative search, right? So what Sam and Kaz are talking about here, if you're tuning in and maybe you aren't aware, this is how that most people are going to have to be interacting with the internet in the near future. So, you know, Kaz, I love that you have so many seniors coming to your class. But Woozy's comment here, which I just had and kind of got it off screen, but he said that he felt kind of bad for your classmates because you're going to set the curve awfully high. But what do your friends and kind of classmates think about how you've used ChatGPT to start a business and you're making money off of it?
I mean, at first, some of my friends thought like, that's just like, how are you doing that? Like, how are you making that much money? It's like, you got to be like scamming them. But like, I'm like, no, I'm actually teaching them stuff. I like teach them how you can use it. So at the beginning, they kind of like they just joked around about it, but eventually they realized like, whoa, this is an actual pretty cool thing, and he's making bank from it.
Yeah, I love it. And what have you been able to teach? Let's just say even, you know, younger students, maybe your own age, but what have you been able to teach kind of younger kids, and what has the feedback from them been, you know, kind of more of your peers, your age group? Like, what do they say after you teach them ChatGPT?
Well, they'll usually be like, whoa, this is so cool. I have so many questions. And then usually, like, sometimes we'll have people who like have like more complex things that they're wondering. Like, I tried using ChatGPT-4 to do this, but it said that is unethical, even though it is ethical for what I'm doing it with. So then I like, sometimes if they ask questions like that, I will like show them how you can write the perfect question, you know, to actually answer that and do it.
Yeah. And here, well, let's just go ahead and talk about this. We didn't really prepare for this, but I think you can handle this one here, Kaz. So, two different things. So Brian Parton says this settles the debate about teaching ChatGPT in schools. I agree with you, Brian. I think it should be taught in schools, but I'd like to hear this from you, Kaz. Like, do you think that schools should be teaching ChatGPT? Because a lot of them say, hey, you can't use ChatGPT, but what's your thought? Should schools be teaching it too?
Yeah, well, I mean, the main thing that I think schools were initially designed to help you prepare for work, but nowadays it's more to just help you learn. But then you really think that when you're working, you're allowed to use ChatGPT. So why can't you use it in school? And then once again, schools are also helping you learn about new things, yet one of the most powerful new things, AI, and of that, ChatGPT, one of the most accessible tools out there. You can't even use it in school? What kind of logic is that?
That's what I'm saying. Hey, me and Kaz are on the same page here, right? Because to me, Kaz, and let me know if we're going down the wrong route here, but you can use the internet to research something. You can use, Wikipedia as long as you cite it, right? Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people just have a misunderstanding of ChatGPT and what it can be used for. Have you seen that, in some of your classes so far? Maybe people just don't really understand what ChatGPT is. And then when you can teach them, are they just blown away?
Yeah. I mean, once I teach them, they're kind of just blown away. For example, once my teachers heard about this, they were like, hey, Kaz, can you do a private session at school in our school boardroom, just for, our us teachers?
Yeah, your teachers have bought tickets. Your teachers have become your students.
Yeah, that's the great part. I love that. So talk about that. So your teachers have actually taken your course, right? Yeah. What was that like, having to teach your teachers about ChatGPT?
It wasn't really a teacher. It was more one of my main substitutes, but it was so I'm teaching someone who usually teaches me. That's pretty darn crazy.
Gosh, Cecilia with a comment says, wait a minute, Kaz sounds just like Jordan. Cecilia, I couldn't agree more. I think if I was 25 years younger, I would hope to be in the position that Kaz is in now, taking this step as an entrepreneur to really teach people and make money at it. So Kaz, I got to ask you this. You have a successful business, right? You're making money. You're helping people learn with ChatGPT, your friends, your neighbors, people at the community center. I love it. What's your next step? So obviously you're starting school soon, but what's your next step with this Gen AI Academy? What do you want to do next?
I think I really just want to increase my social media, the YouTube channel. And I also want to just kind of help other trainers to really get the perfect training in it and how to really be able to help their community as well. Because when you're a ChatGPT trainer, it's just the best deal. You get to help your community and you get to make bank. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, because you're also not just teaching people how to use ChatGPT, but then you're teaching people how to go out and teach others, correct?
Yeah.
To do exactly what he's doing.
So cool. I love it. So we'll end with this, because Kaz and Sam, we've been all over. We've talked about how this started. We've talked about where it's going. We've got some of your hot takes about using ChatGPT in school, which I love. But what's kind of your one message to people listening out there and who maybe are thinking, hey, I've heard about ChatGPT, but I haven't used it. What's your kind of one message to encourage people to maybe learn this new technology?
I mean, that ChatGPT is here to stay where it is. I think it's you don't have to go for ChatGPT. It's mainly just generative AI is really going to be here to stay, because you've got ChatGPT, Bing AI, and those are supercharged. Bing AI can even now analyze images you take and then generate images, which is really making it insanely powerful, which is where you don't have to go for ChatGPT, just go for something, because this is not something you want to be left behind in. Yeah. AI is getting used nearly everywhere now, when it comes to our phones, to our computers. It is it's everywhere.
Yeah. And I would just add to that, Jordan, by saying that it's as easy as using Google. So if you're using Google, it's that easy, but so much more beneficial. So not only do you have the potential, no matter how much of a Luddite you are or how non-tech savvy you are, you have the potential to use it. And in fact, you have the potential to teach others how to use it.
I love it. I love it. And like Kaz said, and I think we'll wrap everything up with this. He said, generative AI is here to stay. And we couldn't agree more. So Kaz and Sam Keller, thank you so much for joining the Everyday AI Show. Appreciate it very much.
All right. Love being on your show.
Yeah,
All right.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. And if you're listening in and you're like, that was a lot, I want to make sure I catch more. I want to learn more. Don't worry. Make sure to go to youreverydayai.com. Sign up for the free daily newsletter. We're going to be recapping everything that we just talked about today on the show and more. So thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see you back again on Everyday AI. Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.
And that's a wrap for today's edition of Everyday AI. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a rating. It helps keep us going. For a little more AI magic, visit youreverydayai.com and sign up to our daily newsletter so you don't get left behind. Go break some barriers, and we'll see you next time.